I'm not short, I'm just vertically challenged. So I don't have to adjust the podium and adjust the mic, it's just there. And therefore, I believe you touch people and things turn into gold. I'm a diamond, I want to be gold now. The price is pretty high at the moment. And Hofaone, I know you love money, but unfortunately you just have diamonds and gold. Yeah, but the price is good for gold. Anyways, good morning, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here on this snowy day in Botswana, as they say. Real pleasure, distinguished guests, valued partners, lots of good partners here. Fellow industry leaders, yeah, diamonds. We come from the diamond space. Entrepreneurs, most importantly, entrepreneurs. I believe there's a lot of students here, innovators. We want to see you guys, and there's a lot of discussion here. I walked into this room and it says adapt, transform, inspire. So there's a lot of good words in this room, in this space. So I'm sure there's a lot of innovation that we're going to hear on the podium here as well. And obviously, Botswana that are in the ecosystem of entrepreneurship, the people that turn diamonds into gold, as they call it. It is definitely my singular pleasure to be here, to be addressing you this very beautiful morning. And I'm sure if you look at me, I'm wearing these amazing colors to make me feel great. I've been traveling for a bit, so didn't feel great this morning, and the weather didn't help me, but the colors are helping me. And I can see you guys as well looking bright this morning. And I think, Hofaone talked about commitment. We're here to have a critical conversation about the future of our country and our economy. And I think it's critical, coming from the industry that I'm in, that we are seeing a downturn. And you guys, for all the entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs in this room, you are definitely our future here. So as we gather here, I'd like to say it's very important that we bring together the people, institutions, and ideas that have the potential to shape our country and the economy of our country. They create opportunities for collaboration, learning, meaningful dialogue around opportunities and challenges facing our entrepreneurs. So I think the fact that we're here, we definitely need to network. For me, you know what comes out of discussions here, it's not about the fact that I'm an aspiring, and just by the way, I'm actually jealous that you guys are entrepreneurs and I'm still trying to take the leap, just by the way. So very, very jealous, I must say. But I think, ladies and gentlemen, as we speak about economic growth, innovation, and sustainable development, we cannot ignore the critical role that you guys play. And I say the small and medium enterprises, that you guys are critical for the economy, and not just our economy, but for the world. SMEs are widely recognized as the backbone of major economies, national economies, as we look at it. You guys are so important to the point that you are actually 90% of businesses globally. That's how important you are. So if you think you're not adding to employment and not adding to the GDP of the country, think again. There's a reason why you are here, and it's because you are adding 90% to the world. So I think at this point, I'm going to give you a hand of applause, because I can't lie. It takes a lot of guts, and I'll say grit, to be where you are, because it's not an easy journey. I mean, what you do for us, and yes, major corporates are required, but what you do for us is you add to the value chain of our businesses. And that's why I believe that you are very important, and it's not any different in Botswana. I talk from a perspective of diamonds. Yeah, we're a national resource, but it ends at the point when we sell our diamonds. What happens beyond that? And that's where you guys are critical. I mean, research shows that SMEs contribute approximately 35% of Botswana's GDP and account for gross, I've been told not to use acronyms, just by the way. So it's gross domestic product. I'm sure you all know that. And it accounts for about 75% of the formal sector of employment, right? So that's a big number. We sit here and we say diamonds, diamonds, diamonds. But I mean, if you guys are contributing 75% of the formal sector, that means you are contributing a hectic load, or hell of a lot, as they call it, to the GDP of the country. In addition, Botswana's SME sectors support more than 300,000 jobs. Imagine my shock when I read this here, because I thought we are the highest employers in country. Clearly not, right? 300,000 is a lot. Just randomly, I got asked this week, what's the population of Gaborone? And I said between 200 and 300,000. No, it's 600,000. So you are contributing to 300,000 jobs. That is half of the population of Gaborone. And when I talk about Gaborone, it's Tlokoeng, Mogoditsani, those areas. I do apologize. I know you're from DRC, so I'll show you the map soon. And again, we talk statistics, but I think it's important to show these statistics because it represents what SMMEs do for the livelihoods of Botswana. And, we should all aspire to becoming something in this field because the impact is high. We talk about sustainable impact in mining. You guys live sustainable impact on a daily basis. And I think for me that is so important as we sit here and we talk about the trials and tribulations of being a business person or an entrepreneur. I know it's not easy. I've spoken to many of you. There are days where you get up and you're like, what am I doing today? In fact, I'd use another word, but different discussion. I think Tsego sitting there will tell me, Malari, just relax. You don't need to use the words that you use in mining. But I know it's difficult. It's very hard. But 300,000 jobs, guys, that's a lot of jobs that you are creating singularly and collectively as well. So again, I'm going to do that. Or should I say clock it? As we look forward to the future, our long-term prosperity will increasingly depend on our ability to nurture a vibrant entrepreneurial sector that complements our establishments or industries and unlocks new areas of economic activity. And for me, that is very, very important. I sit here talking about rough diamonds. You guys are very important. I see somebody in the downstream here. Won't mention her name because people will think she's my favorite. Hofa, you are my favorite too, just by the way. I think, the future of Botswana's economy will not be built by the large and private sector companies. It will be built by the SMMEs. And I think this is where we're going as a country. It's about diversification. I think what I see more and more coming around is the SMMEs are more innovative than our large corporates. The bureaucracy in corporates stifles innovation. I see Gabo shaking his head this way. He knows what I'm talking about. That is why he's actually moved over to the BIH, right? Because they stifled his innovation. He's a very innovative guy, this guy. I mean, the fact that he gave me a podium that doesn't challenge me in any way, that tells you he's also very compassionate, just by the way. But I think, what's important is that you guys, and I'll say you guys because I know most of you are entrepreneurs, you guys are bringing the talent to the table. I think for me, it's about how do we collaborate as corporates and assist you guys along the value chain or wherever it is you're sitting. And it's not about just jewelry and diamonds, whatever it is. It's every sector that complements the diamond industry, the innovation industry, wherever we're sitting, the financial services industry. I think you guys are definitely a critical part of that ecosystem. And as Lucara Botswana, I think our responsibility within this ecosystem is to ensure that we give you the tools and we support you guys and get you to a point where you're transforming ideas into sustainable and scalable business opportunities. And I'll say scalable business opportunities because as we sit here in Botswana, I talk about a population, 2.5 million. Honestly, anyone here that is planning to service a 2.5 million population, I'd allow you to walk out of the room because that's not what you're doing and that's not what you should do. We should be looking beyond Botswana. I mean, if you look at COVID, the era of COVID, right? Lots of millionaires and billionaires were created in that period. What a challenging time for human beings. But millionaires and billionaires were created. Where did they come from? SMMEs. That's exactly where they came from. So there's opportunity. In every challenge, there's opportunity. Diamonds remain an important pillar in our country. Our economy and the contribution is significant. But let me tell you, the people here, Hofaone talked about how she loves money. No, it's not that she loves money. She knows what the money can do for her, what doors it opens for her. So yes, love money. As I grew up, I was always told, Mariki Satan. No, it's not. With that money, Satan actually gets you to the next door, if that's what it is, right? So I'll call it an angel in my life, right? It's not Satan, just by the way. I'm sure you picked that up. And our South African brother here, I'm sure he knows what I'm talking about, right? So I'm not gonna translate for you. But it's an angel. And why I say it's an angel is because we come in as individuals who angel invest in you guys. When I say you guys, I'm talking to all the people out here that are becoming aspiring SMMEs or are actually in the business. So I think for us, the next chapter is you guys leading this chapter for us in terms of diversification. I mean, it's a very big word, diversification. We talk about it all the time. But you are at the lead. And in recent global market fluctuations, we've consistently demonstrated the importance of building a more resilient economy. How do we build that resilient economy? Is to move away from the dependencies on a single sector like ours. So that is why I keep saying, and you'll hear me saying it, you guys are critical. And for those who are employed, get the courage, don't be like me. Please, don't aspire to be a Naseem sitting here talking about how the large companies can support you. You need to be those in the lead, right? You should be leveraging of strengths of existing industries and create opportunities out of there. I say leverage from existing industries. Learn from our mistakes. Learn from my mistake of being here as a CEO. I should be one of those people. Yes, I create employment, but I'm not self-employed. So I need to move away from the to, I need that money. And thank you, Hofawana, for mentioning it at the onset, because that's very important. And it doesn't come easy, right? I sit here every month, I get a paycheck. Yes, we have difficulties in the industry, but I still get my paycheck. For those who are working on their own, they work very, very hard for that paycheck. And I thank you for that, because you guys are actually uplifting the country more than I actually am. I think you're adding more value to the bottom line than I am. Yes, I work in an easy industry, it's diamonds. But you guys work very hard. You probably get up earlier than me. I go to the gym at 5. You get up at 5 o'clock to see what's happening in your business. And I think the dedication that you put in is not lost, and it's not seen. I see it, and everybody here in the room sees it. So again, I congratulate you for your resilience and your patience and your ability to get up every morning and saying, you know what? I'm not going to get employed. I'm going to add to the 300,000 and more jobs to the country. So while we're here, just need to bring you back. We're here for the conversations with Hofawana, right? But also, most importantly, we're here because Leah is going to give you money. Just by the way. Leah is going to give you money. But with that money comes responsibility. And the responsibility is for you to run sustainable SMEs and make sure that you guys are leveraging what resources you have in country. Again, I know it's not easy. There's a lot of things that need to come into play. Yes, you have corporates trying to fund you, but the financial services sector has not come along as well. So I can't see, I don't have my glasses on, but I'm not seeing a lot of people from a financial services industry. But if you're here, pick up your hand. Oh, only 1, 2. Please, can you help the guys? They need money. We need innovative banks. We talk about innovative businesses. We need innovative banks and support services to bring these guys to the forefront, to allow them to leverage their business ideas. And you know what? Some of them are very radical, just by the way. But we need to support them because the radical business ideas bring in radical money. And that money is needed in country. I spoke to a couple of people. I come with a lot of stories. I spoke to a couple of people in the beauty industry. And one of the ladies, actually, I was quite hurt, actually, because she caters for the Botswana population. And do you know how much of the Botswana population will be able to buy her product? 10%. 10% of the population will be able to buy her product. That's not enough for her bottom line. But if she thinks bigger, what does that mean? She's got the world at a platform. And that's a lot of income and a lot of GDP to our country. So we're trying to nurture this individual to try and think bigger. So when I talk to you guys, you know what, big is small. Big is small. think out of the box is cliche. Think beyond out of the box. Think, they always say reach for the sky, reach for the stars and touch the moon kind of thing, right? I think you need to reach beyond that, because that's exactly what you guys do best. You guys are innovators. You are change makers. And on that note, I will implore absolutely everybody in this room to encourage anyone they know that has just come out of formal employment or that has just come out of university. Just by the way, my son's graduated. He's become a doctor. Just had to say that. And the one thing that I want him to do is, yes, get exposure. But that doesn't mean that he needs to be formally employed through getting exposure. Because one of the things we see in formal employment is people are not getting the work experience that they need to. But that doesn't mean they need to be in formal employment. They can get work experience anywhere. And I'm sitting in a room of very innovative people, excluding myself. I'll step back a bit, right? Because I'm formally employed, right? You guys are the innovative ones. You guys are going to carry us to now and beyond in Botswana. And I look to you guys. Long-term prosperity for the country sits in this room here. It's definitely not in diamonds. It's in the downstream activities. It's in everything that comes out of these activities that we are actually doing in diamonds. So on that note, I see Khofaone earlier on when I said on that note, she stood up. You can come closer to the podium now. You can just stand maybe there. I think at this point, I'd say I'm confident that today's panel will provide valuable insights for you guys, practical perspectives, and meaningful solutions on how we can collectively strengthen SMEs, I keep saying SMMEs, but SMEs and startup funding in Botswana, and support the generation of entrepreneurs that are already here and that are upcoming. And I think when I say this here, I talk a lot about the financial services industry. We need innovative financial services industries, because if we don't have those innovative industries, and it's not specifically the finances, it's the support industries. If we don't have those guys, you guys are not going to be able to fly. And then maybe you can go next door to South Africa, because there's a lot of innovative solutions in South Africa. So I sit on the board of a bank, and I'm maybe challenging myself here as I stand here. We need to come up with solutions that are innovative, that can cater for your radical ideas or your amazing ideas, so that we can support those ideas and make them turn into mullahs or dollars or satan. I don't know what it is. But anyways, whatever that is, angel investors, we need people to come on board that are ready to make the change, whether it be here in Botswana or globally. And on that note, I'd like to thank you for your audience and for listening to me talking a few radical things and not so radical things. And I look forward to the insightful discussions going forward. Hitumetse, thank you, and welcome.